Boost Mobile is now sending experts nationwide to deliver and set up customers' new phones.
Wait, we're going on tour?
We're delivering and setting up customers' phones. It's not a tour.
Not with that attitude.
Introducing Store to Door. Switch and get a new device with expert setup and delivery.
Delivery available for select devices purchased at boostmobile.com.
Yes, teeth can do magical things.
Eavesdroppin.
Hello there, little lady.
Hi, little miss.
Hi.
How are you going?
You little missy. Hark at you. Well, Michelle, welcome to another day, another eavesdropping day, in fact. It's a Wednesday, isn't it?
Well, when people listen, it should be.
Could be any day.
You've got to be right. It could be any day, but it should be on a Wednesday that you're chomping at the bit.
It's hump day. No, not hump day. What do they call it? Not honk day.
It's a hump day.
And I was told by one of our eavesdroppers it's because it's middle of the week, and it's Charlene Happy Chappy, by the way, our number one researcher. She said it's middle of the week and you have to get over that hump. And that makes sense. I didn't get it before. Didn't understand what a hump day was. And before I go any further, Michelle,
yes,
introduce ourselves.
Oh my God. Yes, please. I am Michelle. I am a host of this podcast.
Give us an elevator pitch about you, Michelle. Tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm short. My brain doesn't work half the time.
Right.
And I'm one half of the Eavesdroppin duo because we do real life, true crime, supernatural, because if you don't laugh, you cry.
That's right. If you're not laughing, you're obviously crying. There's only two states of being around here. And I'm Geordie. I'm the tall one. And I also have problems with my brain not working sometimes. Technology can befuddle me. And that's something that people know when they work with me in my other career as a therapist. What else is there to say about me? We're both musicians, Michelle and I. We've both been in bands.
Yes.
We both play instruments. We both sing. And we often do on this podcast too. Do you like our jingles? It might be time to up the jingle stakes.
Well, do you know what? We are going to be in the same country in the not too distant future. So I think we need to get writing. In fact, we did a jingle basically write itself on an episode not so long ago.
It always writes itself. They always write themselves. They just pour out of us. We're so creative.
What? Hang on. What was that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Was it the Live, Laugh, Love tour?
Oh, the Live, Laugh, Love tour.
Was it the Live, Laugh, Love tour?
We've got to do a jingle about that. If you want to write in, actually, and give us some ideas of jingles you'd like to hear, please do. And we welcome voice notes because then we can turn them into jingles as well. Actually, Michelle, I've had a couple of eavesdroppers write in.
You haven't. I love when they do.
Oh, I have. I have.
You have.
You better believe it, little miss. Second time you've been little miss today. Little miss...
Sunshine.
Little Miss Grey Robe, I was going to say.
Oh.
Little Miss run a brush through that hair.
Oh, not today. Do you know what? I actually said to Andres, he was doing our washing the other day, and I said, if you're doing a whitewash, please pop the robe in and a bit of bleach.
And he said no because he didn't want to stain everything else.
No, he said, okay. And he did it.
Okay. Is it whiter?
It's still up in the laundry room, so I haven't seen it.
Well, I look forward to that moment.
I know. I said, I can't take Geordie's comments anymore about the white grey robe.
You own the fact that you've got a greying robe.
I do. Chenille.
Look, I want to talk about Safka. Safka dropped a bombshell.
What?
In our social media. Well, so by the way, if you want to contact us, you know, you can email us at hello@eavesdroppin.com, no G. And you can also send social media messages to our Facebook or our Instagram, and that's _eavesdroppin. Again, no G at the end.
Yes.
Is there a comma? I'm not sure. Work it out for yourselves. www.eavesdroppinpodcast.com. hello@eavesdroppinpodcast.com. Email us a story.
Share, like, all of that.
Follow our social media.
Like, subscribe.
Instagram and Facebook.
Yep, you know what to
At
do.
eavesdropping_.
You got that right.
Eavesdropping. No G.
Yep.
Meanwhile, here's Safka. She said, randomly just said, What did she say?
And for anyone who doesn't know, Safka is our resident lovely white witch.
And that's the end of that sentence. I thought you were going to say more.
Well, I was going to say more because Tamira is also our lovely white witch.
No, she's a mystic, a modern mystic. That's different.
My brain doesn't work.
Right. So Safka said, "Hey, lovely. Such exciting news about Banksy. Although I was rather hoping it was Robert Del Naja, as I love Massive Attack. Much love to you. Kiss, kiss, kiss." Now, I didn't really know what she was talking about, Michelle, because I must have been under a rock.
Has he been uncloaked?
He's been unmasked. Yes, apparently. She said she's a bit sad as she loves a mystery. It's not the guy from Massive Attack. I think it's just some random guy. He's not even our guess, which was... We guessed that he might have something to do with the KLF, the Ancients of Moo KLF. But actually, it's a guy likely to be, still not completely 100%, Robin Gunningham.
Who's that?
Yeah. He changed his name to David Jones in 2008. He's famous for subversive stencil-style murals. They did a 3 years Reuters investigation that concluded that Gunningham is the person behind the art. But there were suspects such as Massive Attack's Robert Del Naja or Gorilla's co-founder Jamie Hewlett, who also used to make the Tank Girl novels. And TV host Neil Buchanan from Art Attack. I don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
He had the best mullet in the business.
Oh, I'd love a mullet. I'm actually thinking of getting a new haircut.
What, like a mullet?
Maybe. Slightly, maybe.
Are you going
mullety.
through a renaissance?
Middle-aged croissants. Maybe. I don't know.
Wow, I look forward to that.
Yeah, we'll see. I need to find a decent hairdresser.
A bleached mullet. I might get AI to just knock one of those up so we can see how you might look with a bleached mullet.
Oh my God, I would love to
I could have a dark crew cut. That would be my worst haircut.
flat top.
A flat top?
An 80s.
I'll go the grey. I'll go the grey flat top. You can have a bleached mullet. Oh, God.
Oh, I'm having much more fun with that idea than Banksy unmasked because I feel like, is it real? Are they just trying to...
Who knows? Who cares?
Oh, well, I care, but I kind of feel
we do love a mystery.
It's a deathbed confession. I'm not sure it's going to be this guy, Richard Gunningham, whoever that is.
Well, let's just look at his bank account. We'll soon figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, Charlene Happy Chappy, I mentioned her earlier. She did write in and correct me because I got very confused a few weeks ago when we were talking about, the double birthday party. Why couldn't I remember that it was known as a joint party?
It was a joint party.
And then when you got to 14, you were like, a joint party. Who's bringing the joints? No one brought the joints. It was still your mum and a plate of fairy bread or a couple of...
Stealing her cigs out of her.
Her Alpines.
Her Alpines.
Some menthol ciggies.
And then going down the pine forest. I never smoked, but I stole them from my friend.
To set the forest on fire?
Yes, that did happen a little bit.
Oh,
yes.
What?
Yeah, down the pine forest at the end of the street.
You set it on fire with your mum's...
We were naughty kids.
Ciggies.
Well, they all went down and, then you kind of make a little fire with the leaves and things.
God.
And you sit around all pretending you're cool. And then you're like, oh, my God, it's out of control. What the hell? And
your brother has to pee on it.
Oh, God, he was not invited. No, sir. Well, speaking of writing in, Geordie, we've had another email literally just dropped into the inbox from Josh XO.
Oh, Josh XO. Hello. You've written before a few times, and I'm afraid to say we never made it to make an entire episode about belly buttons, unfortunately. I think there just wasn't enough content for us, was there, Michelle?
No, there was not. And look, Josh, I'm a little confused because we have received this email from you before. You have said to us before you would like our advice, tips, tricks, tools, info, guidance, that you're both in your 20s from the UK. You listen to our podcast, you love it, that you're expecting your very first baby child.
Still. I mean, that was like 2 years ago, Josh. Surely
Yes.
that baby child's been born.
I mean, unless it's still gestating, what the hell happened?
Maybe there's another one.
Yes, but it says our very first.
Congratulations, by the
Both
way.
expecting our very first baby/child.
Oh, I just assumed that baby child has been born. But congratulations, both.
I don't know. It feels like they've just cut and pasted an old email.
Oh, maybe he's slightly irritated. And if that's the case, Josh XO, I'm sorry. Maybe he's thinking, where is my bloody episode that they keep asking the people to write in and I've written in? Why haven't those bitches given me the belly button episode?
Well, because he says we both want to know best ways to engage, bond, play, love on my girlfriend's belly button baby bump during her pregnancy.
Yes.
So we've had this email before, Josh. What's
Yes.
going on?
Josh, I can say right now, just be gentle. Just go with the flow. Do a little experimenting. See what feels nice for her, what feels nice for you. And if she says ouch, then stop. Fine. Easy breezy. Follow your intuition.
I would say this is like a 2,500 word email.
That's an episode for us.
I'm not sure. Well, he does say it's all about blowing raspberries, etc.
Right. What did he call them? Didn't he give them a
Sleep
name?
regression he wants to know about.
What? Sleep progression?
Regression.
Regression.
Yes.
What do you mean? So being regressed while asleep, is that what it is? Josh, you'll have to...
Well, he says we both also want to know how to work around or resolve sleep regression during early years of babyhood, toddlerhood. Can you ladies give us any guidance, tips, tricks, tools, info, opinions? And he says... At the end, could you ladies do an episode discussing and talking about all of our questions and giving advice? And then he sent me a second email 1 minute later saying, plus, me and my girlfriend both have ADHD, autism, so we both want to know how to get our daughter properly tested later on for both either ADHD, autism. And is it due to us passing it down, or should we get her tested later on just in case?
Okay, I can answer that straight away.
Okay, go for it.
If you're both autistic, ADHD, or DHD as it's known in the biz, then it's very likely that your daughter or son or whoever the baby child is will probably display traits and will probably be bestowed with the superpower. So best bet is to wait until perhaps school age if you need to get them tested. You guys got diagnosed, so you've obviously been through the testing yourself and you know that you can't medicate autism, but you can medicate ADHD if needed, if it's affecting their schooling or other aspects of their lifestyle. I would just say maybe I'll put some links over on the... Well, we can't do that Patreon because you might not be patrons.
Well, sign up.
Sign up. I'll put some links over there. I will get back to you because I don't have the links available right now, but I will perhaps respond to your email, Josh, and I'll send you a few bits of information about right to choose in the UK. How about that? That's a way of involving your doctors in seeking the diagnosis. And in fact, what's probably best is to go to the GP rather than ask us. Even though I am au fait with the world of neurodiversity and I am a therapist, but right now I'm a podcaster. So I'm not really sure how I can answer those questions. Like the sleep regression. Yeah, I'm a mum to 3 children. One's really old, 2 are a bit younger. And all 3 of them were a nightmare with sleep. And I made all the mistakes. So don't ask me is probably the best thing. Don't co-sleep, which is what I did the whole time. I do know a person who's just had a baby and paid some money for a sleep specialist. She said it was the best money she'd ever spent.
Wow. What was the advice? I'm actually curious.
She wasn't going to tell because she paid money for it.
Oh.
I know. She did give me a few tips because obviously I'm well out on the other side of it. But I think it's just consistency, not letting them fall asleep in your arms. Because if you want them to sleep in a bed, put them in a bed. And yes, they will cry. But you've just got to keep going in, put your hand on them to soothe, walk out again. It just means being stoic and hard and not succumbing to the crying baby, which all of us do. We pick them up and we end up having to walk around with a sleeping baby in our arms. And when we put them into the bed, they wake up and they cry. And then you're tearing your hair out.
Yes.
That's pretty much what happens or happened to me.
I read that in a book when I thought I was still going to have a baby. I remember reading the best way is dark room, put your baby down, let them cry. It'll kill you inside for the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But little by little, you get used to it. They get used to it. They learn to self-soothe. You reduce the crying or increase the crying. I can't remember. And yeah, you can read that in a book.
I will say, guys, as well, Josh and partner, that being ADHD might feel like you have a lot on your plate when this baby comes, although I'm surprised that the baby hasn't already arrived. So try and reduce things that you're doing to very minimal. Like Michelle said recently on an episode, just bring it back to one thing a day.
One thing a day.
Don't
Go
do
to
too
the
much.
shop. Just go to the shop. Get a can
Keep
of
things simple.
Yep,
Yeah.
whatever.
Get a can of what? Nutriment.
soup. I don't know.
Sustenance.
I don't know. God knows. I don't know what I was going to say.
Get a can of tomatoes.
Yes. Right.
We hope that helps, Josh. Thanks for writing in. And yeah, can you just let us know how old that baby is? Because we're a bit confused.
It's not born yet, according to this new email. Awkward.
Orcs.
So, do write in. We love it when you do.
We do like it. And if we do ignore, we don't ignore emails, by the way, but we do have an awful lot of them. So
Yes.
apologies if some slip through.
Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile and save up to $600 a year. I've been scouting these big carriers for a minute now, and I've seen them pull the same play 1,000 times. They promise you the world, then hit you with a price hike right when the game gets tight. But Boost Mobile, their $25 a month unlimited wireless plan is the most consistent player on the floor. No contracts, no price hikes. Unlock the savings today at boostmobile.com/unlock. Based on average annual single line payment of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers compared to 12 months of the Boost Mobile unlimited wireless plan as of January 2026. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
So, Geordie,
Yes, Michelle.
I don't know if you remember, but I talked a little bit about a telly wreck, DTF St Louis.
Yes, you did. Yes.
Now, I spoke to an American friend. She said it's St Louis, not St Louis.
Okay.
That's how Americans say St Louis.
Yes, they do. Yes, that's right.
I have now watched 4 episodes of DTF St Louis. It is telewreck from Eavesdropper Steph. Like I said, stars Jason Bateman. Fucking love him.
We all love Jason Bateman.
Actually, in the latest episode, there's this scene where he's a pool boy. He's doing some role playing. He's a pool boy with a little cap on backwards, his shirt off, and some longish trousers like he's a skater from the 90s.
Right.
I'm telling you,
Oh.
got me a little bit worked up. I was like, I would go there. I would go there. I mean, because he's a little bit strangely creepy, but sexy.
Oh,
yes.
is he? Okay. Creepy but sexy. I mean, when you get to a certain age, I'm afraid most men do appear slightly creepy, just by default.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. But, we know that's all we've got to choose from. So,
Yes.
we accept it. It's okay.
And of course, it has, what's his name? David Harbour, Lily Allen's ex.
Also creepy. Famously creepy, thanks to her album.
Yes. But I also think, she's going through some stuff. So there's 2 sides to every story here.
Always. I tell that to everybody. I tell it to myself. You're 50% of the problem.
Yes, exactly. I absolutely love his character in this. Slightly obsessed with this TV show right now. It's dropping ep by ep, week by week.
Okay.
So you can catch up. You can binge the shit out of this very quick because it's only up to episode 4 at the time of this recording.
Okay. I'm currently without anything to watch on TV, and we're about to go away on holiday, actually. We're going to France for a driving tour of France.
Good for you, because I was recently speaking to Jen the Hen and Eavesdropper Steph.
Yeah.
Petrol shortage in Australia. They're not allowed to drive their cars.
What? Oh.
Yes.
We may fall into some trouble then.
Get into that driving, get on that road trip while you can, because
My husband's a prepper, so we have cans of petrol the minute the war kicked off, I'm afraid to say. He pegged it down there, yeah. We've also got 2 or 3 freezers in the garage, and he's been buying deer from hunters.
oh my God.
I know. I found a hoof the other day. I was a bit upset.
Oh,
Yeah.
Georgie.
Yeah.
No.
But anyway, TV shows. We just finished one. Bugger me, I can't remember what it was. These things just come and go, don't they? We did
Must
smash
be
it out.
wonderful.
Well, I said that we'd watched The Patient. Then we'd watched something else after that you had recommended. It was something that you had recommended.
Okay.
I don't know. Can't remember what we've been watching.
That was a great conversation. I'm glad. That was really useful.
What the hell?
To all our eavesdroppers. Okay. Well, I'm just going to keep going on DTF
I
St.
watching?
Louis.
St. Louis, yeah.
St. Louis. The plot is fucking crazy. And I don't want to give out any spoilers because it is a twisty, turny old ride. But Geordie, I just had this feeling Could this be based on a true story? So I looked it up, and what do you know?
Oh, Michelle, you're the one for those kind of things, aren't you? You do like a deep dive.
Yes. Well, do you know what? It's loosely loose. It's loosey-goosey, loosely based on true life events. So this week, I'm looking at a deadly love triangle.
Oh, I love those. Don't we all? Bloody hell.
Don't we all love a bloody, loosely based true life love triangle, deadly love triangle? So shout out to the brilliant New Yorker article where a lot of the research for this story comes from. Shout out. Shout out. So we're going to go back to the 15th of October 2015 when Dr. Gilberto Núñez, who was a dentist in Kingston, New York, was indicted for killing his friend Thomas Kolman, who lived in a place called Saugerties or Saugerties.
No idea, mate.
No idea. This isn't even like the last bloody hiking horrors where I had to reel off all those Russian names.
And you did so well.
Saugerties. I'm going to say Saugerties.
All right.
Anyway.
We'll take it.
So the prosecutors said Gilberto had caused Thomas Kolman's death by getting him to take some kind of substance that killed him. Oh. And alongside the murder charge were 2 counts of forgery. According to the indictment, Gilberto had been pretending he was a CIA agent and apparently had told people he was authorized to implant tracking devices in patients' teeth.
Oh, God.
I'm laughing because it just sounds really scary, but also crazy and very Black Mirror.
But do you remember when we did an episode and Lucille Ball's teeth picked up radio signals?
Yes, I do. And I'll put a link to that because it's a little bit strange, but it's a concept we've heard before.
Yes, teeth can do magical things.
Yes, I just need a better fucking dentist. Thomas Kolman died just before dawn on the 29th of November. Shout out to Jen.
Is that her birthday?
That is her birthday.
Oh,
but this, I know. But
Jen
anyway,
ahead.
this is a terrible thing. This guy died in 2011.
Sorry.
In the parking lot of a Planet Fitness gym in Ulster, which is about 15 minutes south of Saugerties.
Right.
So Thomas was just 44 years old.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know, so young. And it was part of his routine to go to the gym early in the morning before heading to work. But obviously that morning he never made it to work. And later that day, after failing to appear at the office, his wife Linda went looking for him and found his body sitting in the driver's seat of his car.
Oh, no, that's terrible. Nobody else noticed.
No. Maybe they just thought he was
Having a rest.
listening to the radio, as you do.
Yeah.
For 4 years, Thomas's death was unexplained until finally a charge did come in. Thomas was murdered.
Right. Murdered.
So I know if you don't laugh, you cry, right?
Right.
Murdered.
Okay, you're trying to make it funny. It's not working. The poor man. People are feeling very sad for him right now.
I know. He was found in his car.
Yes, it's terrible. By his wife. Even worse.
Yes. Prosecutors said that Gilberto, who was 50 at the time,
They're mates.
been having an affair with Linda.
Oh, the wife. Oh, gosh. Okay.
Yes.
They discovered this when they started digging.
Yes. They also said that, yes, Gilberto had impersonated a CIA officer
That's just weird.
as part of a scheme to pressure Linda into leaving her husband.
Oh,
But she didn't want to leave Thomas.
no. She wanted her cake and eat it, obviously.
Well, she was just DTF with Gilberto.
Oh, okay.
She was just down to fuck. So when she did eventually end the affair with Gilberto,
Yeah.
he apparently threatened to kill himself, which, you know, to me that shows that actually Gilberto was really deep into this affair emotionally.
Yeah, Gilberto. I'm going to call him Gilberto because I think that's the way you say it. I think that he's a little emotionally unstable, possibly. What?
Gilberto.
Gilberto Núñez, I would probably have said.
Gilberto
Yes.
Núñez. That's how I'm saying it.
And I'm a bit fancier. I'm a bit of a, what do they call them? What's the word that starts with P?
Pretentious.
Pretentious. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Proudly pretentious.
Well, do write in if you have the correct pronunciation.
Yeah.
Maybe I should ask my Mexican chef. So, on the morning Thomas died, prosecutors said Gilberto, I can't say Gilberto.
Yeah, you stick with Gilberto, that's fine.
Went to see Thomas at his gym early in the morning.
Oh my God, he just wouldn't let it lie.
And in fact, security cameras showed their cars parked next to one another for 28 minutes before Gilberto's car drove away. An autopsy later showed that Thomas's body was full of midazolam, which is a sedative used by doctors and dentists.
Oh, yeah. See, he has access to a whole medicine cabinet of things that can kill you in the wrong hands. Clearly, Gilberto's hands were the wrong ones.
Hold your horses and pin it. So,
Okay.
investigators also found vials of midazolam in Gilberto's dental office. When they looked at the search history on Gilberto's computer, they found a record of a Wikipedia search for midazolam. Smoking gun, you would think.
Yeah.
Pin it.
Oh, right. I'm pinning. I have a feeling this is going to unfold in a way that doesn't seem obvious.
Yes. Well, I don't know. But in April of 2016, Gilberto, who had been in the county jail for just 41 days, because they did throw him in jail on a suspected murder charge here. Well, 41 days later, he's out on bail and back being a dentist, Geordie.
What?
And this is how this whole story got uncovered, because the journalist for The New Yorker was his patient, and he was more than happy
Are you kidding?
while she's in the chair to talk about all of this.
Oh,
the
my
whole
God.
shebang.
Or was she just a patient because she worked at The New Yorker and she wanted the story?
No.
She was already a patient of Gilles.
Basically, the journalist was like, I went to the dentist. I was surprised I could get an appointment and surprised he was working because he was up for murder.
Right.
But he was a good dentist, so I went. It's basically
Okay.
the premise of this, of why this story even came to light.
Yeah.
Basically, this journalist got the scoop. Gilberto had first become friendly with the Kolmans in 2010. Thomas was a physical therapist and Linda worked as a hospital administrator, but the marriage was stressed. Thomas had financial obligations left over from a divorce, and it was fucking with his finances. And Linda's daughter from an earlier marriage had health problems, and that was financially stressing the marriage.
Got it.
Plus, the couple had a young son together who had some behavioural issues and was struggling at school. At the same time, Gilberto was in a shitty marriage and was actually separating from his wife.
Right.
Little by little, Gilberto began spending time with Linda while they waited for their kids to finish lessons at a local karate school.
Oh, my
That's
God.
how they met.
This has happened to somebody that I know.
What?
An affair with the karate guy, with the karate teacher. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm going to say I know someone who had an affair with the drumming teacher.
Uh-oh.
It happens.
Not naming names here. Carry on.
No names. So anyway, over time, Linda confided in Gilberto that things weren't good at home.
Right.
Meanwhile, Gilberto had struck up a friendship with the husband, Thomas.
Oh.
I really don't know why.
No, that seems like it's a bit manipulative, to be honest with you.
Bit love triangle
Yeah,
here.
he's formed
Bit love
that.
triangle.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, by December of 2010, Gilberto and Linda were shagging, and the whole thing was a full-blown affair. And pretty quickly, Gilberto had fallen deeply in love with Linda and wanted her to tell Thomas the truth about them so they could be together. But Linda wasn't into it, Geordie. She didn't want to leave her marriage. She still loved Thomas. And that's when she said Gilberto came up with what he called a horrible idea. So, in July of 2011, he bought a disposable phone and began sending Thomas a load of texts from someone called Samantha,
Right.
basically hinting to Thomas that his wife was having an affair with the dentist. Eventually, Thomas confronted Linda about the affair, and she, hands up, admitted to the whole thing. Then Linda went to Gilberto and was like, are you Samantha? Why the fuck did you do that? Why did you pretend to
Thanks
be
a
this
bunch, mate.
woman called Samantha?
Yeah.
He denied everything. In fact, he doubled down and said maybe Thomas had sent the messages to himself.
What? Now, come on. That's now confusing.
Makes no sense. But after that, Gilberto spiraled and he left a voice message on Thomas's phone filled with all of these emotional declarations of love for both of them.
Okay.
Then he left a bunch of dramatic farewells to the world. I'm going to kill
no.
myself. Now, Thomas, who actually seems like a really good guy, was really worried about Gilberto and
Right.
called emergency services. A police officer did go over to check on Gilberto, but when they got there, he said he just had a moment of weakness and he was fine now and he's not going to harm himself. But the whole Samantha texts thing, well, this was hanging over Linda and Thomas. And when Gilberto heard that Thomas might hire a detective to trace who actually sent them, because Gilberto was like, wasn't me, he came up with another plan.
Oh, my God. Too many plans. Oh, what a tangled web we weave, as my mother says, when first we practice to deceive. Gets too messy.
It's a good saying.
Or rack off, you dag.
Piss off.
No work and furries.
Get fucked. See you next
Tuesday.
Give me black dog up.
Yeah.
Big news! Boost Mobile is now sending experts nationwide to deliver and set up customers' new phones at home or work.
Wait, we're going on tour?
Not a tour. We're delivering and setting up customers' phones so it's easier to upgrade.
Let's get in the tour bus and hit the road.
No, not a tour bus. It's a regular car we use to deliver and set up customers' phones at home or work.
Are you a groupie on this tour?
We deliver and set up phones. It's not a tour.
Oh, you're definitely a groupie.
Introducing Store to Door. Switch and get a new device with expert setup and delivery wherever you're at.
Delivery available for select devices purchased at boostmobile.com.
He came up with this other plan. He told the Kolmans he knew a computer expert from the CIA.
Oh, because he works there.
Yep. Who could track the origin of the messages. Gilberto then offered his office IT technician $500 to pretend to be that CIA expert.
Oh, Lordy.
Meet with the couple, flash a fake CIA badge at them, but that plan didn't actually happen.
Why? Because the guy just thought, I'm not doing that. That's stupid.
Well, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you getting me embroiled into?
$500 is probably not enough because I'll probably end up in jail for impersonating a CIA officer.
And that $500 is long gone. But look, in the end, Gilberto actually went to Thomas's office, admitted he was Samantha and sent all those messages and begged for forgiveness.
Right. That's best, really. That's the best route, I'd say, at this stage of the game.
Yes, so you think that's
The end.
the end of this fucked up drama.
But no,
And you would think that that would be like done and dusted,
Yeah.
friendship over, right?
perhaps not.
Not in this triangle, Geordie.
Oh, crikey.
Not in this triangle. Because Thomas, he still wanted to save his marriage. And, strangely enough, he was like, okay, I accept that this affair happened. I forgive you, Linda. But, even more weirdly, he and Gilberto actually grew closer as friends after all this shit went down.
Right.
Thomas is like, okay, Linda, you fucked Gilberto. It's okay. Gilberto, you fucked my wife. It's okay.
I forgive you.
I forgive you. And actually, you're a really good mate. And they became closer.
Wow. Okay. Well, fair enough, I guess. That's a thing that can happen. People can move through these things.
In fact, Geordie, Gilberto and Thomas began texting each other constantly.
Oh.
Sometimes dozens of messages a day. I mean, quite frankly, where did they find the time? But they were really chummy. But there's more. There were times when the three of them even went out together. And on other occasions, Thomas would babysit the children while Gilberto and Linda went out together.
Are you kidding? No, come on. This is ridiculous. So it's almost an open secret that we're all in this together. It's a three-way.
Kind of, yes. And in fact, on Thanksgiving, Gilberto joined the Kolman family gathering.
Yeah.
And at one point, the two men even discussed opening a business together.
Right. Because it's not complicated enough, you see.
Yes.
We need to also add money and contracts into the mix. Why not? Go there.
And then came Monday, the 28th of November.
The day before Jen's birthday.
Exactly. Day before, dude was found
In his car.
dead in his car. Gilberto and Linda had had an early dinner together.
Okay, sorry. Yes, I was a bit confused. Okay, so they had gone off and had an early dinner together. Weird. Okay, yep.
Yes, before returning home. Later that night, Thomas and Gilberto exchanged texts while watching the New York Giants game on telly. They were texting each other about the game, like calling each other bro. Hey, bro, what do you think of this game? Whatever, in the messages. All chummy. And obviously, Gilberto and Linda had gone out for dinner together.
Yeah, so, I mean, everything's working quite nicely by the sound of it.
In that triangle, yes. But then a few hours later, Thomas was dead. So what the fuck happened here?
I'm hoping you'll tell us.
Well, I'm going to, sort of. So Gilberto said he'd gone to bed halfway through the game and didn't learn about Thomas's death until late the following morning. But prosecutors said Gilberto was lying and had actually been waiting outside Planet Fitness with a cup of coffee laced with a deadly dose of midazolam.
Oh, gosh.
This is what they're saying has happened. Now, according to their theory, Linda had 100% broken off the affair earlier that evening.
That's why they had the early dinner.
Yes, leaving Gilberto devastated.
Right.
But this is a statement that Gilberto denies.
Well, I would have said because he was Googling the midazolam pan or whatever it's called, and he wouldn't have just decided that very evening to do this thing.
And he's a dentist. Why is he Googling it? He knows what it does.
Yeah, he's got it in his cupboard. Yeah.
He's a dentist.
Weird.
Now, evidence at the trial would actually show that this was not true in terms of what Linda had said, because texts would later show that Linda was still affectionate towards Gilberto at this point.
Oh.
Then came different evidence. 2 vials of midazolam had been found in Gilberto's office, but they were sealed and part of an emergency kit used to calm patients who were having seizures. So all his actual midazolam that he had purchased, it all tallied up with what was in his office.
Right. Okay.
Then the security footage the prosecutors tried to use against Gilberto, saying that his car was at the gym parked next to Thomas's car. Well, Gilberto insisted the camera was so far away that nothing could really be identified except headlights. And so he was saying, it's not my car. He said someone had met Thomas outside Planet Fitness, but it wasn't him. And he was like saying to this New Yorker journalist, these people are ruining my life. It's not me. And so everything at this point was fucked, including Gilberto's financial situation, because the legal bills alone were expected to pass $1 million. Patients were leaving his practice because do you want to go to a murder dentist?
Not really. A murdering dentist?
No. So his rep was badly damaged, although he truly believed he would be acquitted. And his new wife, because he's moved on from Linda.
Oh, that was quick.
Who was a singer named Yamil, who he married in 2014 after this whole thing had died down. Well, she was fully behind the innocence of her husband. Look, I think apparently to anyone who knew him casually, Gilberto seemed like a reserved but friendly guy. He did free dental work for a women's shelter and for Boys and Girls Club, which is apparently something in America.
Well, he sounds much nicer than I originally thought.
Yes. Some patients had even heard that he drove elderly people to their appointments and took them home afterwards. Just a really sweet man.
Yeah.
It was these kinds of details that led certain people to have an impression of him, which was he was generous and the sort of immigrant professional who was just keeping his head down and building a respectable life. But let's face it, Geordie, parts of this story are fucking weird. Right?
They're not adding up, no.
No. So the fact that he told police there was a detail that he told police that had not been reported in the news. Apparently, when Thomas's body was found in the car, the seat had been pushed really far back. His belt and trousers were undone and his zipper was down.
Huh? Oh, my God.
Gilberto said he mentioned this because he said prosecutors might suggest there was a secret relationship between the two men.
The two men, right, okay.
But he said, we have a different explanation and you will see. So thing is, what I see is that you said you weren't there, but now you say his zipper was undone.
So how does he know that?
I don't know, Geordie. It's not adding up. But a few weeks later, in May of 2016, the trial began at the Old County Courthouse in Kingston, where the prosecutor, who was a woman called Mary Ellen Albanese, basically said this case was all about obsession. She then went on to say her case was entirely circumstantial because there were no eyewitnesses, no fingerprints, no DNA linking Gilberto directly to a murder. But, she said, there was a great deal of evidence around motive, character, method, and she put her case together and explained it like strands in a rope. Individually, they're weak, but you put them all together and it creates this strong rope.
Right.
So, the first strand in this rope was the midazolam discovered in Thomas Kolman's body.
Yeah.
She said the discovery of this drug sounded like a he-did-it home run because midazolam is part of like
A dentist kit.
the dentist kit and the sedative that they use. And he had access to it. But it turns out the amount in Thomas's body was small. In fact, it was barely enough to produce the mild sedation the drug would normally cause in his patients. So for it to be lethal, that drug would have needed to have been taken with something else to kill someone, which then you turn to Thomas Kolman's health history. He weighed more than 100 kilos, so kind of a big guy. His heart and liver were enlarged. He had hypertension, anxiety, depression and migraines and insomnia. He also had sleep apnea, where you stop breathing during sleep. So midazolam apparently is normally safe for people with sleep apnea, but patients are meant to be monitored carefully. Now, Gilberto did know that Thomas had sleep apnea, and in fact, a few days after Thomas's death, Gilberto did a video recorded interview with detectives where he volunteered this information, explaining how serious the condition could be.
Yeah.
And at the time, it seemed Gilberto was just trying to help investigators understand Thomas's medical situation. But in court, those remarks became central to the prosecution's theory because they argued that Gilberto had deliberately used the sedative, knowing Thomas's sleep apnea might tip him over the edge into the great beyond. The whole feeding him midazolam idea did become kind of sketchy because if you think about it, the jury would have to believe that Gilberto hatched the plan and hoped that the interaction between the midazolam and his respiratory disorder would kill him.
So they had to have a bit of medical knowledge about him and general knowledge about how this would work.
But if the interaction between the midazolam and the respiratory order didn't kill him, this whole thing would go to shit.
Yeah, sure.
And Thomas wouldn't react.
Risky.
Or die, and then he would just wake up and be like, what the fuck?
He'd know somebody had attempted to drug him.
Yes, with an amount that was less than would normally even be used to sedate a person in the chair.
But it's sounding like it was used to point a finger in Gilberto's direction.
Good point. So, the next strand of this rope involves Gilberto's behaviour. The prosecution brought up the Samantha texts. Turns out, Geordie, nearly 1,000 texts had been sent over 2 days.
Oh my God. There's a lot of texting time between these three.
Which was a lot more than was originally brought up.
I mean, voice notes are quicker.
I know. And also, like, who the fuck has the time? I'd have a hand cramp. by that point. And then there was another weird thing that Gilberto did. He apparently sent an email to Linda pretending to be Gilberto's mother, urging her not to break off the affair because it was God's plan for the two of them to be together.
What? Oh, wow.
When Mary Ellen said about obsession, I agree. This does seem like this is...
A little obsessive, yeah.
Yes. But you also have to remember that despite the weird Samantha texts and the fake mummy email, Thomas and Gilberto were really close, and they did send each other a lot of texts every day. They went out socially. Thomas even babysat when Gilberto and Linda went out. So the whole thing is weird. Then Linda Kolman took the stand. A recording of the 911 call she made after finding her husband's body was played for the jury, and according to reports, the shock in her voice was unmistakable. When the court heard her cry out, "No, no, no," it made the reality of Thomas's death really very real for the court. And it seemed obvious in that moment that Linda had turned against Gilberto.
Okay.
Apparently. So it turns out Linda had even filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Gilberto, which actually also meant she had a financial reason to see him convicted.
Yeah.
And on the stand, it did seem she was determined to portray him in a really bad light. But it did seem that Gilberto had been really good to her during the affair. Turns out he'd spent loads of money on her. Bought her loads of jewelry, lots of clothes.
Oh.
He paid her credit card bills.
Oh.
He sometimes gave money to Thomas as well because Thomas was having to pay divorce payments.
That's right.
And he was giving Thomas money to help out with those divorce payments.
Dentists are never short of a quid.
No. And apparently he even offered, some kind of schooling. I'm not sure if that was for Thomas or for the child.
Yes.
But to me, this now makes Thomas babysitting while Gilberto and Linda went out make sense because Thomas was keeping the cash cow happy.
Yeah.
Thomas
Happy
was
days.
greasing the wheel, like,
Yep.
okay, go fuck my wife.
Right.
He's paying for our life.
God.
But apparently Linda on the stand was savage.
Really?
She said Gil was all about money. He was always pushing money on people. He always insisted on paying for everything.
Oh.
Well, to that I say, Linda, you could have put your hand in your pocket.
Exactly.
But for the jury, her remark didn't sit well because it was hard to see Gilberto's lavish generosity as proof of murderous intent. Another incident involving a fake CIA scenario was brought up. This happened months earlier when Linda had received text messages suggesting that Thomas might be having an affair. Gilberto offered to investigate and eventually handed her a letter supposedly written by a CIA agent, which said things like, people sometimes believe they know someone's character simply because they've lived together for years, but people fall out of love all the time.
Right.
And it was signed Agent 753246910213.
8675309.
It's just weird. But Linda said she thought the letter sounded dodgy. And during questioning, though, she then said, but I did believe it was true. So it's all a bit weird. And apparently at this point, people in the jury were laughing. They were like, this seemed ridiculous.
Ow!
So then there was a former inmate who had shared a jail with Gilberto who testified that the dentist had originally bought fake CIA identification cards to spice up his sex life.
Oh, fucking hell.
So, and the thing is that investigators had discovered that Gilberto had bought some novelty IDs long before even meeting Thomas and Linda as a, kind of naughty sex thing.
He liked to dress up.
And that he
Yeah.
apparently had invented a CIA character for himself called Special Agent Dr. G. And and had pretended that he was a dental version of James Bond, supposedly authorized to implant tracking devices. So,
Right.
look, I just think poor old Gilberto.
It was all a game.
Yeah, it was a bit of a game to him. But It was the love triangle itself and all the texts and emails between the three that did give the prosecution its strongest material. Prosecutors tried to show Linda as a married woman who had briefly been swept up in this messy thing, but gradually realised she loved her husband and wanted to repair the marriage. And there is some evidence for that. In an anniversary card she had written to Gilberto, she spoke about the beautiful heights of their affair. Yet she also told him repeatedly she was going to end the affair.
Right.
So it's all a bit weird.
Hot and cold.
And sometimes Gilberto would say he would wait as long as she needed.
Right, yeah.
But other times his messages were like on the edge, saying things, I will never leave you. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever.
Wow.
But look, in the end, Geordie, after all of these crazy things that happened in the trial.
Who the fuck killed that guy?
I mean, look, the trial lasted 3 weeks, but 6 hours after the jury went to deliberate, they found Gilberto not guilty. But they did find him guilty on some forgery charges. I think that was with the CIA.
Yeah, with the CIA
yes,
documents.
of course.
Yeah.
So Linda was angry. She shouted in the courtroom.
Yeah, because there goes her cash cow.
Yes, and Gilberto quietly returned to being a dentist where he was seeing patients.
Yeah.
And the case is basically shut, but there are still questions.
Well, yes. Like, who killed him?
Well, now they're thinking that he died of a heart attack. And there's the possibility that something may be with Linda, although obviously that's just speculation. Who knows? But one thing is certain. On that morning outside Planet Fitness, Thomas met someone in the darkness. They spent 28 minutes with him in that parking lot.
Yeah.
Then he died, and we will maybe never know how or why.
Right.
But it did all inspire DTF St Louis, and that show is fucking fantastic, and I urge anyone to go watch it.
Well, I wonder, Michelle, if you've actually given the whole thing away. If it ends like that.
I don't know. I'm only up to episode 4, but you can already see it's very,
different.
very loosely based. There's so many things that these two cases are not similar. It's like it's a grain that inspired
Right,
DTF.
okay.
And it's absolutely brilliant. Watch it.
Wonderful, but also not wonderful because a man died and we don't know how he died. It's very dissatisfying, isn't it, to not have those answers?
It is dissatisfying. It is. I would say go watch DTF. I'll put a link to the New Yorker article in the show notes over on Patreon and make up your own minds.
Okay. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you so much. And of course, like she said, it's all going to be over there on Patreon, plus that ever so long list of television shows that you can pick up and run with whenever you're finding that there's nothing to watch. I will say that there's something coming on at the moment that I'll watch. It's the 3rd series of The Comeback starring Lisa Kudrow. I watched the first 2 series years ago, probably before COVID or during
Never
COVID.
seen it.
So good. It's really funny. She plays in a TV sitcom star who lost her shine and is making a comeback. She's so funny. Lisa Kudrow.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's great. Okay, well, I'll pop that in the telly rack.
Do it. So I guess that's it for this session, Michelle, this sit-down session of chatting and you telling me a story about someone that we never find out really what happened. A little frustrating.
Well, was he murdered? Was he not?
Well, there was something in his drink.
Well, yes. We'll never know. No one will ever really know what happened to poor old Thomas Kolman.
I guess if the case has been closed, I suppose that's the end of that. Which leads me to say that maybe that's the end of this as well, this particular episode.
Yes, Geordie, that does bring us to the end of our little session. Go watch DTF, and in the meantime, there's only 3 things left to say. Wherever you are,
Whatever you do,
just
keep eavesdropping.
Eavesdropping.
Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping.
Dropping.
Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping.
Dropping.
Ouch. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping all day long. Eavesdropping. This is the song. Drop it like it's hot.
Big news! news. Boost Mobile is now sending experts nationwide to deliver and set up customers' new phones at home or work.
Wait, we're going on tour?
Not a tour. We're delivering and setting up customers' phones so it's easier to upgrade.
Let's get in the tour bus and hit the road.
No, not a tour bus. It's a regular car we use to deliver and set up customers' phones at home or work.
Are you a groupie on this tour?
We deliver and set up phones. It's not a tour.
Oh, you're definitely a groupie.
Introducing Store to Door. Switch and get a new device with expert setup and delivery wherever you're at.
Delivery available for select devices purchased at boostmobile.com.